your wife, Shasha, or she used to call her pastor?
Susanna, yes.
Susanna. I always call her Shasha, but her name is Susanna. Sarah.
Change to Sarah.
She says, no more Sarah. Sarah, no. Praise him. It's okay, fine. Name has a power in it.
Amen.
That's why I name my children with the very meaningful names. My first son is called Kendrick. Kendrick means the subject of God.
Whoa.
Jeet means victory in my language. Sonia means wisdom. N means grace. Roshan means light. Ness means miracle.
Amen.
Light that brings miracle. Wisdom must be applied with grace. No grace, then wisdom become arrogant. Right? So wisdom must apply with grace. Subject of God, who brings the victory of God, and of course the final one is Joash. Joash is a ruler. Ajay is a follower. A ruler who follows Jesus.
Amen.
Now this is very important because the name is powerful. So whatever name you carry is important. So if you have name that does not have meaning, change it. Put something into it. Bring meaning to your place, your name. Because name makes who you are. My name is Gurmit. I have not changed my name. You know why? Because Gurmit in my language means the peace of God.
Amen.
Or a friend of God.
Amen.
Alright? Meat can be pronounced as two ways. Peace or friend. So I like the name. So that's why I never changed my name. But I do have a Christian name given to me in the baptism called Matthew. It means the gift of God too.
Amen.
Alright, but I never use that name so much because I like what I have. I want to say thank you for my dear pastor here. Alright, I want to say thank you for what's going on at the back?
Sunday school.
Oh, Sunday school. Yeah. This was Sunday school, is that? So I give thanks to God for this couple. Listen carefully to me. These are beautiful people. Alright, very seldom you find a man like Chris.
Yes.
Alright? You don't find that. But he might be gentle in spirit. He's a loving man. He loves the people. And this is the calling of a pastor. I don't expect him to be an evangelist. Preach like a crazy evangelist. Don't expect him to be like a prophet. You understand? He is a pastor.
Amen.
A pastor does things differently than evangelist, prophet, apostle, or teachers. He is a pastor in his heart. A pastor's job is to prepare you to meet your maker. That's why if you look at the 5 finger here, this is known as the apostle. Apostle able to touch every part of the ministry. This is known as a prophet who tells you what to do. Right? The center finger is the most longest finger, known as evangelist. They always stand on the most because it's their job is to draw people to Jesus. Pastor's finger and teacher. Teacher, the one who dig your ears, make sure that you know properly. But apostle is the one who fit themselves everywhere. When we look at the finger of the pastor, it's always at the wedding band. Why? His job is to marry you to Jesus.
Amen.
His job is to make sure you are prepared to be a bride. And those of you are men, if you do not know what bride is, learn to become one. Right? Because Jesus is our bridegroom. Right? He prepared us to be a bride. So please remember this. Don't expect him to be someone he is not. Alright? Though he can move in prophetic utterance, he can move in teaching, but deep down in the heart, this man is a pastor. He is a shepherd. He's the one who leads the sheep to the beautiful pastures and beautiful water, so that you can rejoice the greenness. Right? You can rejoice. Now, when the Bible says the shepherd leads to green pasture, please understand, it is not green all the while. If you go to a desert in Israel, the ground is not green all the while. But the shepherd knows where to find green grass.
Amen.
In the midst of the wilderness, somewhere around the rocky area will be some green grass. And that's where the shepherd takes them to the green grass. Is the job of the shepherd takes you to green grass. But is the surrounding green? No, it's like a desert. But the shepherd knows how to take you to that green grass and you get the best nutrition. So that's the job of the shepherd. He takes you to a place where you get great nutrition. He takes you to the quiet water. You know why? Because sheep must go to quiet water. Because the water which is troubled will kill the sheep. Because when the sheep puts the mouth into the water, the nose is very close to the water. So in the troubled water, the water will get to the nose. And many times sheep dies because of that. That's the reason why the shepherd takes you to quiet water, so that you will not drown yourself. You understand? So that you can drink peacefully and enjoy the refreshing water on that day. So that's the call of your dear pastor. I want to reaffirm this call, brother, over your life. Remember, it's what God has placed it to you. And my dear sister, you carry the same anointing with him. But you are a little bit different. You have a very strong ministry of building bridges. God has placed it upon you a very strong anointing of Barnabas, that you can build bridges. Broken life, broken heart, broken mind. You can step in and walk into their life and bridge their life again. They will walk not away from God, but walk closer to God. And you also build bridges among families. And God has given you the anointing to build the bridges. And both of your ministries are very essential. One, comfort, show peace. One, build bridges. And that makes the ministry strong. And for the church here, worship leader, you did a good worship today.
Amen.
I didn't stand up to worship. I just sat there because I just want to enjoy my day today. Many times I always stand up and worship, but today I say, Lord, I just want to sit down in the presence of God and just soak the worship. It was a marvelous worship. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, this house is going to be a corner house of worship.
Amen.
It's going to be a center of soaking.
Amen.
You know what center of soaking means? A place that people can come and soak. Now, their world says that you need to hear to certain music to get yourself healed, which is true. I agree with that. But I believe Christian worship brings a deeper healing, because Christian worship brings the what we call one word, shalom. Now, many times we mention the word shalom, it's a greeting. But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, shalom is just not greeting. Shalom is the holistic approach of God. It is not just saying hello. It is not just saying good day. It is not just saying wonderful. When you say shalom, you are telling to a person, I give you my deepest peace to you. In the same time, I receive your deepest peace to me. So shalom, it is not just an external expression. Shalom is an internal expression. So let me tell you about the call of this church. God is going to use this church to bring an internal expression of shalom. When people come in, they're going to feel an outpouring of God's blessing. Take this prophetic utterance, brother. God's going to pour this out shalom blessing into your church. When people walk in, they walk with troubled heart, with troubled mind. And when God poured this word in your heart, when God poured this word in your worship, that word going to flow into the heart of people. I can feel the anointing right now. God was going to flow upon the heart of people and release shalom.
Yes, amen.
Into the heart of men and women who come here. So if you listen to God carefully and you function in this office, God's going to fill this church with hearts and mind. And I'm going to see new life coming into the house of God. And I'm going to say amen. God is a good God. I have a beautiful wife here. Only wife in my life. Her name is Selena Joseph. Now, she is not a Punjabi. She is pure Indian. Alright? How come she looks very fair? Because her mom is a Eurasian. So that makes her look like a Punjabi. It's very, very easy for me to marry her. So, that's my wife, Selena. She's a beautiful woman. Mother of my 4 children. And my firstborn is here. Looking groovy today. His name is Kendrick. Alright? He's the firstborn. And of course, Sonia, my only daughter. The one who I prayed for, that God will give me a daughter, because in my prophetic utterance given to me, I will not have a daughter. And I say, God, it's unfair. Every man must have a daughter.
Yeah.
So I said, give me a daughter. God gave me Sonia. And after that came my 2 youngest one. They were mischievous little boys. Kendrick, Roshan and Joash. They are fun, loving guys. And you will get to know them a little bit more later. Amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
Amen.
I'm here for the very first time after so long. I think I have not shared this before. I want to share to you my testimony. Alright? I feel that you must know. My name is Gurmit Singh. I am a Punjabi and I'm a proud Punjabi Christian. Punjabi are those people who wear turban and beard. That's where I come from. That is my religion that I belong to. Alright? Some of you think, how come a Punjabi can be a Christian? Let me share to you my story. You know, I come from a small town called Pandamaran. How many of you heard of Pandamaran? Most of you know it's a seafood place. Some of you also know it's a gangster place. Pandamaran used to be a communist concentration camp. Those early days when the government wants to put all the Chinese communist fellas, they park them there. And they put a big tent and they put a big wire mesh. You know, they really covered. And because of the gangsterism, that's where, because of the communists, that's where the gangsterism rise up. That's where we have Pandamaran, and from there it became a little town, and today is a very vibrant town. Now, Pandamaran, you can also find the Bible called Panda Aram. Where Abraham come from. Alright? So, anyway, that's where I born. That's where I was born in PJ, Asuta Hospital, but I was raised in Port Klang and Pandamaran in my early days of my life. Very much up to the age of 20. And that's where I came from. What happened was one day, what they call that. Let me read a scripture first, okay? Put on the slide, my dear sister. Let me read the scripture, then I'll go into the message. I'll go into my testimony. Mark chapter 1, verse 40, 41. Mark chapter 1, verse 40. You can off the line. No problem. So people can see the word. Mark chapter 1, 40, 41 says, now a leper came to him and fell to his knees, asking for help. If you are willing, you can make me clean. He said, move with compassion. Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be clean. I'm going to share my testimony right now from here. So I come from a small town called Pandamaran, and there was a group of people who come to our church. This is 30 over years old story, right? I was 9 years old. This year I'm turning to be 48. So roughly you can make the counting. So listen to Pastor, all of you. This is very important testimony. Don't get distracted by what is being preached here, because this is going to change the way you see things about life. Alright? And I want you to listen carefully, because what you hear will make your tomorrow. Amen. What you hear will make your church. Our church is not called a clubhouse. This is not a clubhouse. If you come to a place called a clubhouse, then go back and find another club, because this is a place of life.
Yeah. Amen.
This is not an institution. This is an organism. We build, we increase, we multiply. We are a cell. We don't decrease, we grow.
Amen.
Cell don't decrease, cell grows. Alright? We become better, we become stronger. Therefore, you are in the house of God, which multiply. We do not become least important, we become the head, not the tail. Alright? So when the church came to my neighborhood, they came to knock the door of my house. So this Chinaman, short size, something like you, short fella, came and knocked the door. You gotta understand, when I say short fella means I'm short also. My family members is all tall as Brother Chris. My father was taller than me. I happened to be this high. No idea why. Maybe I was tall, I think I would not be a preacher. I would have become a star or Hindustani. God must have purpose to give me this height. Sometimes God make you short for a reason, not with accident. Alright? So here, don't complain about your heights. God always have a purpose to do so. Alright? And God used those short people, great people who did great exploit are all short people. Read your biography. Toughness never done a great exploit. Alright? Please read your Bible so you understand. It's happened to me because their height had them to do great exploit. Anyway, this guy came and knocked the door. A Chinese fellow came and knocked the door of my house. And when he knocked the door of my house, he knocked. My father opened the door. My father used to be tall, turban, beard, thick beard. He looked at the Chinaman and said, "What do you want?" And Chinaman looked at my father and said, "Uncle, can I take your son to Sunday school?" My father looked at him, "Are you blind? Don't you see my turban? Don't you see my beard? I'm a Punjabi, I'm a Sikh. We don't believe in all this Sunday school thing. Please go home." But his Chinaman didn't stop. He come again. The following Sunday. Knocked the door one more time. He said, "Uncle, can I take your son to Sunday school?" My father this time was different. He didn't have a turban. He had what we call the hair down day. Punjabis wash their hair every Sunday. But that Sunday my father washed his hair and the hair was this long. Just imagine my father had long hair and a beard this long. And I also have long hair. Just happened to be short now. My hair was this long, very nice. Girls very jealous of my hair. So my father looked at him and said, my father got this very rough voice. Very husky, rough, bass voice, and sometimes can be very scary. He looked at the gentleman, what you want? The gentleman he was more shocked looking at my father's face, I think. Got hair down, beard. So the gentleman looked at my father and said, I want to take your son to Sunday school. My father looked at him, are you stupid or what? Which language I want to speak to you? Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese? Come on, I cannot send my son to Sunday school. Please go away, don't disturb us. He left, my father closed the door. But the guy never stopped,
Again.
Chinaman never stopped. Praise the Lord for such Chinaman. I'm never saying And the Chinaman name was Nelson. And he came again. One more time he knocked the door. He knocked the door again. Father told him no. I think he came 11 or 12 times. He knocked the door one more time. My father looked at him and laughed. What I'm going to talk to you? I told you cannot. Then my father turned to me and said, Gurmit, do you want to go to Sunday school? So I looked at my dad. Of course I want to go. My dad said, why? Because all my friends are going, my neighborhood friends are all going to Sunday school. They're coming back with all kind of chocolates, sweets. I said, Dad, I want to go, man, Dad. And I also hear those days, we come from a poor family, so my house was no TV. How many of you go through the same thing like I go through? We watch TV at our neighbor's house. So we stand outside, watch TV, sometimes neighbor get angry, they close the door.
Yes.
So we watch TV in front of neighbor's house. We have no TV at home. And the church that I used to go, the church has Sunday school program, they had what we call Walt Disney cartoon. My dear pastor the pastor of the church, which Pastor Henry, which currently my pastor, he goes to US to preach and he buys this Walt Disney reels. He gets it from Billy Graham Ministry and he bring it over to Malaysia and he put it up, and every Sunday school for the first 25 minutes he rolls these reels. All these are Walt Disney cartoon. And I said, Dad, my friend come back and said they watch Walt Disney cartoon. I also want to see the cartoon. So my dad looked at me and said, okay, you go because you have free time, you go. And he looked at the Chinaman and said, listen, if you do anything wrong, my son, I'll come after you. And that Chinese fella took hold of my hand and said, Uncle, don't worry. We will have a good care for your son. And they really did. The good care is the fruit that's standing here today.
Amen.
God took care of me for the moment I have. God took care of me well. He taught me what life is all about. And somewhere around the age of 13, I gave my life to Jesus. And somewhere around the age of 18, 19, I baptized in the water. In between that, I received the power of the Holy Spirit. And somewhere around the 20 years old, I went to ministry. Now, I didn't go ministry because I cannot study. I went to ministry because I have a calling. I can study. I'm supposed to be a pilot. My uncle wanted me to be a police or a lawyer. Punjabis are lawyers, So my uncle wants me to be a lawyer, or another uncle wants me to be a pilot. So I had all the qualifications if I want to be. But God called me at age 20 and I decided to serve Him. But if you ask me, I wish I would have studied. Nothing wrong to study. Study, and when the time comes, God calls you, go for ministry. But God has a purpose in everything that He does. So somewhere around the age of 20, I served the Lord. So today I have served the Lord 29 years in Christian ministry. Now, my life was not easy because my father also went through many difficult times in his life with his own dad. My father had a difficult time with his own dad. So when my father had a difficult time with his own dad, he also gave me a lot of difficult time in my life. But God was good to show me that He answers prayers. What happened when I went to church, the first thing I did is to join a Sunday school. And let me tell you, anybody here Sunday school teachers? You are not teaching today? God bless you. God bless you. All inside there. Now listen, Sunday school teachers are very powerful people. My life is changed because of Sunday school teacher. My life changed because she stood for me. One day we were in Sunday school, she wanted to teach a subject of prayer. And she looked at a student and she said, I'm going to teach prayer today. And the next statement that she gave was very powerful. God answers every prayer.
Amen.
When she said that, I look at her. I was 10 years old then. I look at her, I said, yeah, God answered prayer, but how sure are you God will give what you ask for? Because in my faith, we pray, but it's all depend to God. Yeah. But she said, no. When you pray, God will answer the prayer according to His will and purpose over your life. Wow, she was very persistent. Because for me is, you pray lah. God give, don't give, His never mind. How many of you have that kind of attitude also? That's the wrong attitude. If you have that attitude, then your prayer will not be answered.
Yes.
Your attitude should be that when you pray, God will answer.
Amen.
And she looked at me, she said, no, God will answer your prayer when you pray. Make things more interesting, she said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Because the class is going to be for 3 months. So 4 times 3 is 12 weeks. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask God to answer your prayer. So she asked me, she asked all the student 20 of us, what you want God to give you? Let's pray. So she gave every one of us a piece of paper. So it came to me now. So I had to put a request there so that we can pray. By 12 weeks, our prayer will be answered. Man, that is really brave thing, you know.
Wow.
So I stood there, thought what to pray for, you know. I give some thought, and I thought about it for a while. I said, 2 weeks ago, I asked my dad for a watch. I said, Daddy, I want a watch. All my friends in school got watch. I said, Daddy, I want a digital watch. You know, every something the father is rich like. You know, but my father is working hard just to go through in his life, pull through every month. But in my mind, I thought my father is rich. You know, so my father looked at me and said, son, I cannot get you watch, but I will teach you how to see time. You know, those older days, they know time, you know. They are very good. They know when to get up in the morning. Today you need to use alarm clock to get up there. But those days, the old people don't need. They know what time to get up. My father gets up 4:30 in the morning to pray to his God. What do you guys do 4:30? Horizontal worship. 4:30 in the morning. The Muslim only praying at 5:30 and some of you get angry. Why so loud? Why so loud? Praise the Lord is loud. That sometimes we are not so immune to it, we don't even hear the prayer anymore. Father get up 4:30 to pray. And then he will fix the breakfast. Very disciplined man. And wakes me up 6 o'clock to get prepared to go to school. So when he told me, I will teach you time. Because he says, it's my system and I will teach you this time. So I look at my dad and said, Dad, even now to get up in the morning, you are my alarm clock. And my dad gave me a watch. So that is the watch can wake me up in the morning. You know, at least the time will ring, so I will learn to get up in the morning. My father said, cannot. Forget it. Table. I asked him again. Very calm man. After asking a few times, he become very angry. He said, you ask me one more time, I'll give you my 5. Now, do not take your father's 5. I don't know about you, but if you take your father's 5, you go to sleep very quickly. Have you ever experienced that? Your father gives one whack on you, suddenly you feel very sleepy. So my father said, I'll give you my 5. You know? So I told that I'm not going to ask him anymore because I don't want the 5. You know? So I kept quiet and I went back and I sat quietly, and now I'm in church with a Sunday school thing with a piece of paper in my hand. I said, let me write down there. Digital Seiko watch. Blue neon color. Very specific, huh? And the teacher picked up the prayer request. She saw. Can see shock in the face. Because everybody has prayed a simple prayer. Lord, give me a chakwetia. Give me a pencil box. Give me a rubber. Give me a razor, you know. I asked for something that it's not possible to come and looks like it. Teacher look at it, but she smiled. She smiled. The smile to show nothing is impossible to do.
Amen.
She closed the prayer, she put in the box, and she got all of us to pray. And behind the classroom, she put a manila cardboard. You know, manila cardboard, do we still have that? Yeah. She put a manila cardboard at the back there. She wrote the name of the student, and she wrote the date prayer answered. A very bold teacher. And she prayed. Very strong Pentecostal, filled with the Holy Spirit. She prayed, pray, Lord, bless this prayer. Let every prayer in this piece of paper come to pass.
Amen.
I look at her and I said, my one will be impossible. Which is true. Because every week, all the students came, their prayer answered. Left the final 3 weeks. 2 more friends of mine plus me 3 lah. Pray and answer. So the teacher called us out and prayed for us again in faith. You know, because every time when prayer answers, she marks on the board. So 3 hours left. She prayed. The following Sunday, these guys came back. The teacher asked, your prayer answered? 2 of them say yes. So I looked. I said, something must be wrong with me. All their prayer answered. And I stood there and I thought for a while. Then teacher called me out. Gurmit, come outside. So I stood in front. She got all the teachers that she knows who are Sunday school teachers to come and stand with me. And they prayed the Pentecostal prayer. Those days when they pray, they shake you one more. Nowadays we pray, we shake you, you get angry. Nowadays we should not just shake you, kick you. Those days just shake you when they pray. I'm telling you. They really make sure that you get the prayer into your system. Oh, they got pray. Oh, Father, bless Gurmit. My body going left and right. Shaking. My head also. Oh, shaking. Lord, touch him. They pray with faith. Lord, answer his prayer. At that moment, I got my small, they call doodla. No? Oh, God, answer Gurmit's prayer. You know, answer him. Speak to him, Lord. May he know that you will. Wow, they prayed a strong prayer. The teacher was so confident, she cried, you know, in a prayer. So I look at the tears, I got very worried because, wow, it's so important for them to pray for me in that manner. You know why? Because they know that God can use me for the glory of God.
Amen.
And they want to see me, to see that God is an answering, praying God. And she prayed. So I went back home on that night. Monday came, Monday passed, Tuesday morning came. I got up in the morning. Guess what? I saw digital wash on my table. I got shocked. So I looked at my dad. My dad was coming out of the shower and I said, Daddy, you say you're not going to buy me a watch? You're going to teach me time. How come you bought this watch? He said, I didn't buy you this watch lah. Let me tell you the story. My dad is a very hard working man. But his favorite time is buying Toto. How many buy Toto? Don't leave your head up, man. You buy Toto, you come stand here, I'll pray for you. My father is a very hard working man, but he buys Toto. So he wants to buy Toto on a day. So he walked in the Toto shop in Port Klang. You know, there's only one shop in Port Klang, Toto, near the pharmacy. So he walked into the Toto shop, he wants to buy it. So when he wants to buy it, my father works in British Petroleum. He's a labourer, so he got a very strong, firm body. Somebody came and pat him from the back. You know, so he felt the pat, he turned behind, he thought he was his friend. Turned behind, there was none. He was alone in the shop. But outside the shop was a crowd, and there were guys selling lengo. You know, lelong. They put all the those days you used to have that in all the Toto shop. They had this lelong sale. You know, they put all these items there. Satu kali jual, dua kali jual. You know, they would say. I still remember those days how they do business, you know. So they had this stall outside of the Toto shop. And that guy did what? When my father turned behind, the guy took the scissors out. He said, today I'm going to make a special deal. Because it's the last week of the month. So I want to make a special deal. You know, I didn't make a good business, I'm going to make a special deal. So he took out the scissors out and he said, listen, I'm going to put the scissors in. And that scissors caught my father's eyes. You know why? Because my mom is a seamster. She stitched her own Punjabi suit. My father saw that and said, hey, mother said that her scissors are blunt. So she wants to get a newer scissors. So my father caught that eye. He said, okay, I see the scissors. Next thing the guy took a chopper. You know, a chopper knife, you know. He said, I'm going to put this chopper. This chopper is from China. It's one of the best choppers, which is true. Chinese fellas is the best choppers. So he took this chopper. My father, basically, we do not cut chicken in the market. My father is a very strong a believer of making sure that everything done by himself. So he cuts his own chicken, he cuts his own meat, he cuts his own fish, he buys it, he cuts it at home. And his chopper was also not doing so well. So he said, okay, that's a good idea. Next thing they got put the watch. They said, listen, I have a watch, new digital neon watch. I want to put all this together. I'm going to sell it just for this item now. 25 ringgit.
Oh.
Now those days 25 ringgit like 100 ringgit today, you know. You know that? It's very big money. You know. So my father said, I'm about to buy a Toto which is going to cost me 15 ringgit. Father said, just put another $10, 25, I buy this item now. So my father got the price and he took the item. And because my father bought it, he even put some extra thing inside to my dad. He said, I'll give you this. I think he gave some Singer oil. You know, those days they will give Singer oil plus the, you know, every house goes Singer machine. My father took it back like, no, because my mother have a sewing machine. She gave everything. He came back, he said, that's how I bought the watch. Then I asked my dad, Dad, who's the one who packed you? He said, yeah, huh? You're a very strong pack. No. I said, do you know who packed you? No, they were nobody. So I thought for a while, could that be God?
Yeah.
But some of you will be thinking, how can God be in Toto show? Especially those religious mind here. Huh? God cannot be Toto show. Who told you God cannot be in Toto show? God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. He can be anywhere.
Amen.
He is not respected or place and condition. I went back on Sunday school on the Sunday, and the teacher asked me, Gurmit, is your prayer answered? I took my watch.
Amen.
I said, God answered my prayer. Teacher with tears in her eyes went to the board, marked it. God answered Gurmit's prayer.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
And the best thing is, it is, you know, when the teacher was praying so much, she cried. And she was praying so strong. You know what I thought or not? If only two things, either God give me a watch, or the teacher will buy me a watch. Because that's how she cried, you know. So when she heard that I get the watch, you know, she put a smile and said, God answered. And that's where I knew God is a praying answer God. We just read a scripture a few minutes ago. Let me read the scripture once again. Now a leper came to him and fell to his knee, asking for help. If you're willing, you can make me clean, he said. Moved with compassion, Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be clean. I want to title my sermon today, The Touch That Reveals. The touch that reveals. I praise God. There were two people who came to the house. One of them who touched me by knocking the door of my house to take me to church. Another person touched me to teach me about prayer. My brother, my sister, our life reveals God's mercy. Let me ask you today, what do you touch this morning? And everything that you do this morning, you have touched somebody, am I right? You have touched your child, you have touched your husband, you have touched your dog, your cat, you have touched something, am I right? And touch is a language.
Yeah.
And how many of you know ladies? How many of you know ladies? You know, if a man who is have a wrong intention touch you, you can feel it's wrong. You know it's wrong, am I right? Because just touch can tell you, hey, this is not right. It's wrong touch. Our touch is very important. Thank God I had two people in my life who touched me. And so today I can stand here to speak about the goodness of God's mercy. My brother, my sister, here Jesus showed a message. There was a man, if you read the scripture again, a leper. He had no name. A leper. When someone has no name and is called by his sickness, that means he's not important. How many of you sometimes you feel that you come to church, you're not important? Sometimes you go to certain function, you feel you are lonely and nobody cares about you. You are insignificant. Just like this man. He had no name. A leper, that's all. Well, what this man did was powerful. He came to Jesus. Not just, he didn't stand before Jesus. He came to Jesus kneeling down because he knew that this man could touch him, could heal him, could bring miracle to him. My brother, my sister, your touch can change life. This church must understand, if you want to see God do a powerful work in this church, it is your touch. When people walk in this church, do they feel welcome? Do they feel they're part of the ministry? Do they feel they're part of God? The touch. When Jesus looked at the man, the leper, and those days is the law. The law is not supposed to touch a leper. Those days, the time of Jesus is, if you touch a leper, you will become a leper. I don't know whether you have seen a leper before, but I have seen them. We used to have them in a Sungaburo leprosy colony. I used to minister there. I used to visit people there. I used to see youth. Their mother, father is leper, but they are not. And they're living in condemnation because of their mom and dad's condition. I used to see them. I used to see how their skin become bad. I used to see their nose. One day is there, after a few months later the nose drops slowly. I used to see their condition is so bad and they're just living with smell in their body. They were not beautiful people to see. The Bible never mentioned how old this leper is, but for him to cry, roughly I can say he's 30 years old. The Bible also never mentioned how long he has been a leper, but he must have been a leper for a very long time because he was begging. He never had any communication. Those days when a leper walked in the city, they carry a bell. Not selling ice cream. They're carrying a bell to let the people know, I am a leper, I'm coming here, please stay away from me. He is telling people to stay away from him. And many times, people who see the leper, they will not see him, they will turn, and the only thing he sees is people's backside. Not this one, the backside. He never had any communication. Nobody talked to him. He was alone. The only person he could have conversation with another leper. He see them today, tomorrow their nose drop. Hello, how are you? My nose drop. Have a thinking for a while. How miserable the leper's life would have been. You talk about depression. Without his sickness, he lived in depression. He lived in condemnation. He lived in sickness. The best part is you can't even touch them. And after finish, they have to go and live outside of the city, in a cave. In a cool night. If you've been to a desert, night is very cold. Crying with no food. Family discard them. If you watch some movies like Rope, you can see some of this movie. Was it Rope, man? About the leper? You watch how this guy, there's a good movie to watch.
What's the title?
Was it Rope? Ben-Hur. You know, you watch Ben-Hur, very good movie. How the guy became a leper and he was discarded. And how he received the touch of God. My brother, my sister, when Jesus looked at it, Jesus need to find a system. The religious system said, cannot touch a leper. The religious system said, if you touch a leper, you are a leper and you also outcast. Many times in our life, we are stuck with religious system. Let me tell you this, Christianity is not religion. Christianity is relationship.
Amen.
Christianity is not religion. Turn to your neighbor and say, Christianity is not religion. It is relationship. We must not forget that. Amen?
Yes. Amen.
It's relationship. That's right. When you come to church, we build relationship.
Yes.
We do not teach religion. And Jesus wanted to show something very powerful because He is God of God. He's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. He wanted to show something important on the day. There were disciples who standing there was watching Jesus. There were Pharisees, Sadducees who were also watching Jesus. And Jesus wanted to prove that I am the healer. And what did Jesus do? He said, I'm willing. You can make me clean. Jesus said, move with the compassion. What Jesus did, He stretched His hand and touch. Let me ask you this question today. What made the leper become healed? The touch or the healing?
Touch.
The touch. the touch. For many years, these men have never felt touch. Now, go back home, those of you who are married, don't touch your husband, wife for 1 month. For 1 month, don't touch your husband, wife. What happened? The wife will start thinking, what's wrong with this man? Huh? He got another woman out there. The wife, the husband start thinking, what's wrong with this woman? And why got somebody else come? So he puts CCTV in the house. 1 month, don't touch your wife, don't touch your children, don't touch your children, don't touch anybody. Do not touch anybody when you come to church for 1 month. What happened to you? Yes. Just imagine this guy have not been touched for years. When Jesus touched his hand and touched him, what did this guy felt? Sudden surge of love. So what can we learn from here? Let me lay down a few things here. Number one, when Jesus touched him, the first thing Jesus tell him, I want to be your brother. Amen. So the first touch is, go ahead my sister, the first touch is the touch of a brotherhood. I want to be your brother. I want to be your sister. When I say brother, sister also, sister don't get upset. I want to be your brother. My brother, my sister, today people are looking for relationship. Yes. When Jesus touched that person, Jesus said, listen, more than a healing, I want to be your brother. More than a healing, I want to be your friend. More than a healing, I want to walk with you. Amen. Jesus touched. Thank God people came to my house, knocked the door of my house, a Punjabi boy at the age of 8 years old with a dude on the head. Because someone touched me by knocking the door, I come to know Jesus. Amen. My brother, my sister, your touch can change life for Jesus. Amen. Amen. Jesus is to break away from the system. A touch of a brotherhood. I still remember when I was few years ago, when my pastor assigned me to take over the church in KL. Because church in KL, we do feeding program. We feed every Sunday 200 people. Throughout the week, we feed. Throughout the month, it's close to 1,700 people. 1,500 to 700 people we feed throughout the week. And we have clinic for the poor. We have also relief work where we give free clothes. You're most welcome to come one day to come and help us in our feeding program. We do that program every month, every week throughout the month. That's where I am. That's where I am for the past 12 years. When my pastor sent me there, I said, Gurmit, go and take over the work because there's no pastor who wants to do it, which is true. Because now I have to do more extra job. I have to preach in Klang, I got to preach in PJ, I got to preach everywhere. That's why when your pastor say come here, honestly speaking, my whole Sunday calendar is full. Today I'm supposed to be in KL. When yesterday my wife told to my member in a funeral service that pastor won't be in KL, she got very upset. She said, why pastor won't be in KL? First week he's supposed to be in KL. But because your pastor calling me every week, And I said, from alternate month to month, alternate month to every week to every day. So I said, I better go lah. That's why I said, and I gave him a very impossible date. I said, I'm free this Sunday. You want me to come? I come. And I expect him to say, no lah, pastor, this Sunday I already have a speaker. But I said, no, you can come. So you're stuck. So I'm not stuck. I'm happy I'm here. So this pastor sent me there, said, take over the work. And I just there for I think I was just there for maybe a month. And then one Thursday, the pastor who in charge of the place which I was supposed to take over from him, he wasn't there. And the lady who's supposed to help me, she was also not there. These are more experienced people than me. I'm just new and the kid at the block. I mean, I help the poor, but it's a different ball game. It's a different crowd. And mind you, one guy come up to the building, ring the bell. I went and stand in the class and said, what you want? He said, I want to see somebody here who can help me. So I turned behind, nobody, only I. He said, how can I help you? So little I know about condition of people, I open up the door, I look at him, I know he was HIV positive. So he looked at me and said, Mister, I want to kill myself. I was passing by here because my area is Maji, India, and many of them are died there usually because the river is there. They will kill themselves and they jump in the river and they will drown. And he said, I was passing by here, but something told me, a voice told me, go up to the 4th floor.
Oh.
You see, when God told me to go up the 4th floor in Chinese means Daila.
Say it.
Then I said, well, before I die, I better go and see what's there. Same, 4th floor, man. So he came up to the 4th floor, and when he reached up to the 4th floor, that's why I'm telling you right now, this was my condition. I said, okay, come in, because early morning, I said, you come in. I said, why don't you go and have a shower? I got him some clothes, I got him some soap. I said, you go and take a bath, I'll fix you a hot breakfast, then we will talk. So he took the soap, whatever we have, all the detergent, we have a set of it, we give it to him. He went and take a shower, he came out, I even give him a set of new clothes. He wore his clothes, he came out, looked very fresh, smells good, hair comb, everything looks nice. He sat down, I fixed him a hot meal, and we were talking. As we were talking, I found out his condition, that he was HIV positive, how it happened. He shared to me what happened. He went and worked in the ship. When he was working in the ship, people took advantage of him and raped him. All the men in the ship raped him. And that's why he contacted the HIV positive condition. He said he has been having this for the past 2-3 years, and his family members have forgotten about him, and nobody wants him. So he feels very lonely. He said, I'm a young guy, 30 years old, and now I'm suffering with this sickness. I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I better kill myself. At the very moment the Lord spoke to me, he said, Gurmit, stand up, go and hug him. And I stood there and said, God, never mind, I talk enough. Don't want to hug. Now you got to understand, Punjabi people are hugging people now. Punjabi people love to hug one. I'm a Punjabi. Hug is not the issue. But because this guy got a HIV positive, it's an issue to me. So the Lord spoke to me, he said, Gurmit, stand up and hug him. I said, God, please God, let me just talk to him. I'll pray for him. I'll pet him a few pets. Then that's it over. Hug him, leave it. No, addiction. Then the voice keep telling me, hug him. So I walked up, I said, okay, better hear the voice of God, because now it's no more than just one voice, it's keep coming back. If you're not listening, it's going to come into your dream. So I said, God, listen, if you do not listen to God's voice, he'll come to your dream. And I thought, okay, I said, God, all right, I'll obey you. I got up from my chair, I walked to him, I gave him a side hug, not a full hug, but I hugged him from the side. As soon as I hugged him, he fell to his knee and he cried, I'm dirty, I'm filthy, I am not clean. He became like a little fetus, like a baby crying unto, I'm dirty, I'm dirty. The moment I look at him, suddenly for no way, I just told her, hey, how can you be dirty? You just had a shower. You just had a shower, am I right? How can you be dirty? Then when I found out, it is not the external part, it's the internal. External, he just had a shower, but internal, he is filthy. He's so condemned that he has been used, been abused. They've been taking advantage of his condition. But because of the touch that I gave him, he looked at me and said, this touch you just now gave me, he felt like a comfort, because every man who touched me took advantage of me. But when you touched me, I felt that I am loved. Amen. I felt I am compassionately cared by God. Amen. My brother, my sister, that's what a touch do. He gives people another hope to be a brother to you. A lot of people looking for brothers and sisters out there. If you want to build a church, you build a church by this, because this is relationship. You extend your hand, touch. You speak to them. You love them. And what next happened? What next thing? Next thing, what Jesus touched revealed? He reveals God's divine authority. All the Jewish people said, do not touch the leper, because there's never been a healing for the leper. Never once there was a healing for the leper. The leper has never gone healed. I'm going to finish here, right? I'm going to get a musician to come and help me. Alright? Just a keyboardist will do. Fine. Amen. You look at this, you find very powerfully Christ's touch reveals his divine authority. The Jewish people said to Jesus, no. You cannot touch a beggar, you cannot touch a leper. But Jesus showed that he can move the mountain of sickness. Amen. He can move the mountain of impossibility. Yes. He shows that he is a man with authority. And when he touched the leper, he showed to the people what is impossible in your eyes is possible in God's eyes. Maybe today you come to God, say, God, impossible. Nothing can happen in my life. But let me tell you this. If you receive God's touch, His divine authority can change your condition. Can change your situation. That guy came as a leper, but when he left, he's completely healed. That guy came with brokenness, when he had, he's completely whole. That's what the Bible says. All authority on heaven and earth has been given to you. Go! All authority God has given to us. All authority God has poured in our heart. That's what God has given for us to go and to do the work of the ministry. And He proved to the Jewish people, and He proved them one thing: you were wrong. You put God in the box. You limited God's power. You limited God's anointing. You limited God's calling. You had a temple. You have a place of prayer. You had all the sacrifices. Every time you cut the lamb, you take the blood, you place it on the mercy seat. You do things, but you never knew the power of the blood. You never knew the power of God's hand. On that day, God proved to the Jewish nation that He is a healer.
Amen.
My brother, my sister, I just want to leave you these two thoughts. There are 4 thoughts here, but let me just leave you these 2 thoughts. I'll come back again to share the last 2 thoughts. I don't know your condition today. I don't know your situation today. You could be living in an impossible condition. You could be living in a condition that you think is impossible. Give Jesus a try.
Amen.
The Bible says, for God so loved the world, He sent His only begotten Son. Whoever believes in Him will not perish, but have an everlasting life. For God did not send His Son to condemn the world. My dear brothers and sisters, God did not send Jesus to condemn you. You know why? Because we are already condemned. How can you condemn something condemned? Am I right? He's not here to condemn us. He's here to elevate us. He's here to pick us up. He's here to give us hope. He's here to give us life. He's here to give us strength. Jesus is here so that we can have a better life.
Yes. Amen.
He didn't come to condemn us. If you're living in rejection, if you're living in condemnation, that is not Jesus. That's the devil. Because that's the best job the devil do. He condemns you. He put rejection in you. He put lies in you. He steals. He robs. He takes away your future. But Jesus come to give you life abundant. I want to do this before I pray for the rest of you. First of all, I want to pray. If there's anyone here in this house, you have not received Jesus. Deep down my heart, I'm an evangelist. If you have not given your life to Jesus, you have not become a Christian before. You are seated down here, you heard what I speak, and something in your heart says, yeah, I want to give my try to Jesus. Listen, you do not lose anything. You do not lose anything. Becoming Christian, you do not lose anything, believe me. In fact, you will gain most. When I became a Christian and I want to serve the Lord, my father looked at me and said, Gurmit, you're going to become a failure. Gurmit, you're not going to be successful because why? You're going to serve God. You're going to be poor, not rich. You're going to be live in a poverty. You're not going to get married. I proved my father was wrong. I married with a beautiful woman. God gave me 4 beautiful children. And everything I have today is fully paid. I am debt free. What I'm trying to say to you, God is not a robber. He did not steal. He did not take away from you. He acts. He gives. But before He acts, He gives. He wants to see how serious you are with Him. He might take some, but the sum He takes, He give you double. My brother, my sister, I seen God's provision. My father said you'll be ugly man. Do I look ugly?
No.
Some people say you never grow old, Pastor. I think I have not grown old actually. I don't know why. You ask me why, Pastor Gurmit, you have not grown old. I believe it's God's favor. But I know I'm getting old because my body is failing on me a little bit. You know why? I can sit on the chair and I can fall asleep. Very bad news. But God's mercy is upon my life and upon your life today. If you are seated here today, you could be coming here for the very first time, or you have come here for many times, but you have not given your life to Jesus. And you're saying to your heart, yes, I want to do this for the very first time. I want to give my life to Jesus. If you are here, could you mind lifting up your hand? I want to pray for you. I don't want to miss this opportunity. If you want to give your life to Jesus, lift up your hand up. I want to pray for you. Don't be afraid. I know there's not many of us here. There's only few of us here. But if you want to give your life to Jesus, I'll pray for you. Is anyone here? You want to give your life to Jesus? First time. You have never given your life to Jesus. You want to give your life to Jesus? God bless you. Anybody else beside my sister here who wants to rededicate their life again? Anybody else want to give your life to Jesus? Come on, lift up your hand. There's one rededication. You want to be a Christian. You're saying to yourself, I'm willing to give up all my religion and follow Jesus. God bless you, sister. First salvation, rededication. Anybody else beside these two sisters? You want to give your life to Jesus. You have never done it before. You are doing it for the very first time. Thank you, Jesus. Can I get your handful to take picture? First time I want to give your life to Jesus. Push your handful. Thank you, Jesus. Would you mind standing up, sister? I just want to pray for you. Stand up again. Come and stand in front of me here. I'm going to pray for you. Come. And look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Don't look at pastor. Look at the crowd. There's one dedication here. Come stand here. There's one dedication. Rededication. First time salvation. Amen. You know heaven rejoice today. This house has a salvation today. How many say amen? The beginning of great evangelism in this house. More souls will be added in the house. Next week, bring another one. Another one will come to Jesus. Every Sunday, bring another one. Your house will be filled up. Rededicate your life. Come and stand here. But I want to pray for this woman who gave the life to Jesus for the very first time. Amen. Come on, let's pray together with me. Repeat after me this prayer. Say, Jesus. Say it. All of you repeat after me. Christian, repeat after me. Say, Jesus.